Greetings, metalheads, and welcome to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today, I've got a fantastic live concert review. Yes, folks, the Priest is back. Now, Judas Priest have recently just played the Leeds Direct Arena in England on the 13th of March of 2024. Now, with this review, folks, you're going to see some fantastic photos that I took from the concert. Please share, please leave comments, and enjoy the concert review. Thanks for listening, metalheads. Enjoy. Now, we all know Judas Priest performed in 1969 in Birmingham. They're going through some lineup changes, as we all know, and the band's debut album, Rock and Roll, in 1974, was an absolute fantastic hard rock and blues album for a debut. And this album would feature Rob Halford on vocals, the Metal God. We'd also have Glenn Tipton and KK Downing on guitars, Ian Hill on bass, and also John Hitch and Alan Moore on drums. In total, the band have released 19 albums, from Rock and Roller from 1974 right until the current album Invincible Shield in 2024. And if you look how much the band have progressed since the first album, Rock and Roller, right until Invincible Shield, they've done some fantastic albums, very melodic but very heavy at times. Since 1990's album Painkiller, this is when the band went really heavier, started to have a little bit more of a power metal and thrash metal vibe, which was really, really good and really worked well in favour for the band. In 2014, the band released Redeemer of Souls. This would feature new guitarist Richie Falconer, a fantastic replacement for KK Downing. Now, Redeemer of Souls album was a heavy album, kind of reminded me a little bit of the Painkiller album, but also had that classic Judas Priest vibe. And this album featured classic Judas Priest vibe with a heavy approach. Now, Firepower in 2018 was a fantastic follow-up to Redeemer of Souls. A little bit more heavier, a little bit more classic Judas Priest. But the new album, Invincible Shield, which has just come out recently, is a fantastic blend of classic Judas Priest with a heavier approach of Painkiller. Now, moving on to the gig, Judas Priest live at Leeds Direct Arena. This was an absolute fantastic show. The stage presence, the stage setting was absolutely fantastic and phenomenal. As we all know, Rob is the metal god. Now, Rob's vocals are absolutely phenomenal. He's really looked after his voice. He's on top form and still screaming like a bat out of hell. Absolute fantastic singer. For a vocalist in his 70s, he's doing extremely well. Although Glenn Tipton and Richie Falconer did record the album, on stage was Andy Sneap and Richie Falconer. Now, these guys have worked together for a number of years performing live. Both of them have got the cult classic KK and Glenn Tipton trade-off, which really works well. And with the rhythm section of Ian Hill and Scott Travis, these guys work fantastic together. Scott Travis is one of my favourite drummers of all time. I loved his work with Racer X. I have to say that Judas Priest have a fantastic live production with amazing lights and lasers. Judas Priest played a fantastic set at Leeds Direct Arena. Now, the band opened up to Panic Attack, as we all know, is an absolute fantastic song. Being at the front of the stage, getting ready to watch this absolute fantastic live performance, I was reading the backdrop. As about the band were about to hit the stage, the backdrop would fall to the bottom of the stage and then was sucked up to the top of the stage, which was absolutely a fantastic way of doing a live opening set. As the backdrop was sucked up to the top of the stage, on the stage next to the drum riser would be Rob Halford, Richie Falconer, and also Andy Sneap with Ian Hill. It was a great performance to see them coming down the stairs to the song Panic Attack. Now, you could see that the band were really into it and really enjoying it. The crowd went absolutely ballistic. In total, the band played 17 songs. There was 14 songs with 3 encores. It was really, really good to see Richie and Andy playing these twin guitar solos like they did in the old days. They were absolutely fantastic. These two guys really do well work together on stage. As for the rhythm section by Ian and Scott, they played extremely well and they were second to none as an outstanding rhythm section. Rob Halford's vocals are still on top form. He's never let the crowd down. Is a fantastic top performer. So, 17 songs live. The opener would be the Black Sabbath's War Pig. This would be before the Invincible Shield anthem came on. Like I said, Panic Attack was the first opening track, followed by You've Got Another Thing Coming, Breaking the Law, Rapid Fire, Lightning Strikes, Love Bites, Saints in Hell, Trial by Fire, Turbo Lover, Invincible Shield, Victims of Changes, Metal Gods, Green Man Alicia with a 2-prong crown, and Painkiller. Now, the encore songs would be the Hellion intro, followed by Electric Eye, Hellbent for Leather, Living After Midnight. And as the band were leaving the stage, they would be playing We Are the Champions by Queen. Now, since the Judas Priest set in Leeds Direct Arena, I have noticed online that the band are slightly changing the set list. Bournemouth had a couple of interesting songs. They had Swords of Demolius, would also have Crown of Thorns, You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise. To see the band doing you've got another thing coming after Panic Attack was absolutely fantastic. Now, I actually love my favourite album happens to be Scream for Vengeance. As we all know, this was a very successful single back in the day. The band went straight into Breaking the Law, which was a cult classic and also featured on Top of the Pops back in the day. One of my all-time favourite songs would follow next, Rapid Fire. Now, this is a really heavy song for its time. If you listen to the original version of Rapid Fire to the modern current version, it's a lot heavier. Scott's double bass drumming in this song is absolutely phenomenal. And with the heavy guitar sound of Andy and Richie, absolutely fantastic. Rob's vocals are absolutely screaming through this song, blazing like a bat out of hell, like I said, and all guns blazing. Another brilliant song live would be Lightning Strikes from the Firepower album. A fantastic choice to be added to the live set. This would be followed by the song Love Bites, a very interesting and strange song, but it really did fit in the set live. And the next song would be Saints in Hell, a cult classic from the early days. I thought this was a fantastic song to be added to the set list. Next up would be Table of, another fantastic song that brought the band a lot of success. However, I'd like to have seen the band do Reckless live from the Table, which I think is a brilliant song as well. Next up would be the title track for the new album, Invincible Shield, another fantastic song, very heavy, very melodic, with some fantastic vocals by Rob, fantastic guitaring by Richie and Andy, and a fantastic all-around rhythm section by Scott and Ian. Next up would be the cult classic, Victim of Changes, which is a long but very powerful song. Now, Rob's vocals on this song are absolutely phenomenal, especially in the middle section where he hits the high notes. The crowd went ballistic. Absolutely fantastic to watch this live. Next up will be Metal God from the album British Steel. This is a cult classic song that the band always play live. It's a brilliant song. This would be followed by The Green Man Unleashed with the Two-Prong Crown, another cult classic from the early days. Original song by Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac. If you listen to the original version by Fleetwood Mac, you definitely wouldn't think it was the same song, but Judas Priest have done a fantastic version of this song. And the closing song before the encores will be the classic Painkiller. Now, this is absolutely brilliant. Scott's drumming on this is absolutely phenomenal. Scott gets to talk on this song and asks the crowd what they want to hear. As we all know, we all shout Painkiller. And as it kicks in, it's a very heavy, brutal song. I don't know where Rob gets his energy for this song. He's absolutely screaming all the way through it. It's a hell of a belter. And if you think about it, 34 years on, this is still a heavy song, way above its time. So, folks, after the Painkiller song, we'd have the encores. As I said, the Hellion would kick off the encores, followed with the Electric Eye. Cult classic song, brilliant song from the Scream for Vengeance album. This was a great encore. Electric Eye has become one of the cult classic songs by Judas Priest. This song also had a fantastic stage presence, especially with the visual effects. Now, this is one thing that Judas Priest have done on this tour. Each song has some fantastic different visual effects. This would be followed by the song Hellbent for Leather. Now, if you've not seen Judas Priest before, you're really missing a treat here. So if you need to go and check them out live, please see them on this tour. You're going in for a fantastic treat. Hellbent for Leather would, as always, feature the motorbike. So Rob would come out on stage with lots of smoke, whizzed out onto the stage with his leather cap on and his whip in his hand. At one point through this song, Rob would pull out his whip and start to whip Andy Sneap. Andy laughed and smiled at him, so did Rob. And the last song for the encore would be the classic Living After Midnight. As always, Rob and the band would get the crowd singing, and the crowd went nuts this song. Everybody was out of the seats, headbanging, shaking their heads, singing the choruses, and of course the verse. All in all, this was a fantastic night. Judas Priest put on a 100% performance, playing some classic songs from start to finish. The band are still on top form. Rob and the boys are still pulling out a fantastic set live and a full force to be reckoned with. So, if you've not seen Judas Priest on this tour, I suggest you do. You're in for a real treat. Long live the mighty Priest, and please check out their new album, Invincible Shield. It's a fantastic album, a great follow-up to Firepower. So, Metalheads, thanks for listening. Hope you like the photos. Like I said, leave some comments and please share on social media. Take care, Metalheads. More reviews coming soon.